Russia is a unique country with a rich history, distinctive culture, amazing nature, and the largest territory in the world. In this video, we will share 10 interesting facts that will surprise you. The country of risky elevators. There are around 450,000 elevators in Russia, with 120,000 of them operating in Moscow alone. This vast number of elevators serves the vertical transportation needs of 12 million Muscovites. Is that a lot? Yes, it is. For comparison, New York has only half the number of elevators compared to Moscow. However, what catches the eye of foreigners is not just the quantity but the poor condition of elevators. Even in Moscow, approximately 20% of elevators have exceeded their service life. Considering Moscow is the capital of Russia and one of the wealthiest cities globally, it's clear that the situation in other Russian cities is even worse. Now, here's a fact that will certainly shock you. On average, 200,000 people in Moscow get stuck in elevators each year. How significant is this number? To put it in perspective, in Chicago, only 100 people get stuck in elevators annually, not 100,000, just 100. If you find yourself in Russia and have doubts about the reliability of an elevator, it's better to use the stairs. Record number of millionaires. Although Russia has never been considered a wealthy country in terms of the average citizen's prosperity, the number of millionaires continues to grow rapidly. Another remarkable fact about Russia is its substantial population of oligarchs. Currently, there are around 200,000 millionaires in Russia, and their number increases by an average of 7,000 annually. In terms of the growth of millionaires, Russia holds the first place globally. Additionally, Russia is home to 106 billionaires, with Moscow ranking third in the world by their count. Considering Russia's population is not as large as China's or the USA's, these are indeed impressive figures. Beer was not considered an alcoholic beverage until 2011. Russians have traditionally been associated with a drinking culture, but this information is somewhat outdated. In recent years, alcohol consumption has been restricted, and it is now lower than it was 10 or 20 years ago. However, until 2011, beer in Russia was considered a non-alcoholic beverage and classified as a food product, much like cola or Sprite. It was only in 2011 that a law was enacted to regulate the production and sale of beer as an alcoholic beverage. To adapt to the new law, stores were given 2 years, and since 2013, beer is no longer sold at kiosks, gas stations, public transport stops, and airports. It is also prohibited to sell beer from 11 p.m. to 8 a.m. More women than men in Russia. In Russia, there are 1,159 women for every 1,000 men. In absolute numbers, there are 10 million more women. In addition to this, Russia faces a relatively low birth rate, creating certain demographic challenges. The significant difference in the number of men and women is attributed to various factors. Some point to the fact that annually, 600,000 people in Russia die from alcohol abuse, accounting for half of male deaths between the ages of 15 and 54. However, it's not only about alcohol. The Second World War decimated a large portion of Russia's male population, and this imbalance has not been corrected to this day. The low life expectancy of the male population due to poor healthcare and hazardous working conditions also plays a role. Furthermore, the Soviet Union, and now Russia, has been consistently involved in wars that claimed the lives of many young men. Russia had a beard tax. Those who complain about the cost of maintaining a beard today should consider themselves fortunate. In the late 17th century, Peter the Great took serious measures against bearded individuals as he sought to modernize his empire and align it more closely with Western countries. The image of bearded men with dense facial hair contradicted the new image Peter was aiming for, so he introduced a special beard tax. Shave your beard or pay a tax. Those who paid the tax were issued a special coin, allowing them to prove their legal right to maintain the appearance of a rugged, bearded lumberjack. The beard tax remained in effect until 1772. Carpets on the walls. Foreigners still find it puzzling why an entire country would cover its walls with carpets. However, there is a logical explanation. As the Soviet Union transformed from an agrarian country into a superpower, many people moved from villages to cities. Large amounts of affordable housing were built specifically for them. The new constructions were of low quality, with thin panel walls offering little protection from the cold and poor sound insulation. It was during this time that carpets came to the rescue of the Soviet people. An excellent universal decoration for walls, carpets provided insulation against the cold and added extra soundproofing. The Hermitage is full of cats. In Russia, fitting for the largest country, many things are impressive in their scale. For example, the Hermitage houses over 3 million exhibits. If you were to spend 8 hours each day looking at exhibits, dedicating 1 minute to each, a full tour of the Hermitage would take 15 years. But apart from exhibits, you'll also encounter dozens of diverse cats. Before becoming a museum, the Hermitage served as the residence of Russian tsars. In 1745, Empress Elizabeth ordered the introduction of cats to guard against mice, a practice that continues to this day. Today, the museum has around 70 cats, complete with their own kitchen and even a small cat hospital. The deepest lake in the world. The deepest and one of the most beautiful lakes on the planet is Lake Baikal. Its maximum depth reaches 1,642 meters. Over 1,800 species of animals and aquatic plants, found nowhere else, inhabit its waters. There are 27 fish species that are unique to Baikal and a special freshwater seal called the Baikal seal or nurpa. The lake holds 20% of the planet's freshwater. Every year, the lake attracts crowds of tourists who come to admire its remarkably clear water. In spring, the water in Baikal is so transparent that objects at a depth of up to 40 meters can be seen. Moreover, it is one of the oldest lakes on Earth. Giant wolf packs. Wolves live in families ranging from 3 to 40 individuals. Even 40 wolves is a considerable number, more than you'd want to encounter in the wild. However, such large packs are relatively rare. Typically, these predators hunt in groups of 6 to 7 individuals. In 2011, the small town of Verkhoyansk faced a gigantic pack of 400 wolves that, in just 4 days, consumed 30 horses. Verkhoyansk is the coldest town in the world. In 2011, it gained fame due to reports of an unprecedented wolf pack. Local authorities, upon hearing about the predator invasion, immediately sounded the alarm and promised a reward of 10,000 rubles for the skin of each killed wolf. In that extremely cold year, wolves were left without their usual food source of hares and began attacking domestic livestock. Did the predators form an incredibly massive pack? It's now impossible to verify, as this story has spread beyond the country, and the whole world now knows about the terrifying wolf superpacks in Russia. Russians divorce more often than they marry. In recent years, for every 5 couples getting married, there are 8 couples getting divorced. Overall, every second marriage in Russia ends in divorce, making the country a global leader in the number of unsuccessful marriages. A likely reason for divorces is the extremely straightforward divorce procedure, which requires minimal effort. Russia has very lenient divorce laws. For example, for just a few $100s, you can find a lawyer online who can dissolve a marriage even without your spouse's knowledge. You won't even need to leave your home, everything can be discussed with the lawyer over the phone. However, Russians can also get divorced without the assistance of a lawyer. For their convenience, the government has made online divorce applications available. The application can be submitted in just 15 minutes on a computer, and the spouse's consent is not required. And what interesting facts about Russia do you know? Share your opinions in the comments.